This is an eastern screech owl, and we're trying to get a nesting pair to take up residency in our yard. So we bought one of these, the Pro Screech Owl House. In this video, we're going to cover the unboxing, the assembly, and installation or hanging of the screech owl nest up in a tree. We'll also give you some tips on how to get your screech owl nest boxes set up so you can get your own nesting pair of screech owls. So the packaging was good on this. The house seems nice and heavy duty. It comes with all the hardware you need to put it together with. We chose this house for a couple reasons. Number one is we know that there's screech owls around our property. And number two, we also know that there are lots of voles on our property. Every year we have a garden, and every year we get vole damage to our potatoes and carrots, once in a while some beets. Screech owls are small enough you don't have to worry about them attacking your pets or your chickens or livestock or whatever you have on your property, unlike some of the larger owls. This kit's really easy to assemble. All the holes are pre-drilled, and it comes with screws to put it all together with. The screwdriver that comes with it is pretty small. I'd recommend just getting another bigger one. The only real drawback that I saw to this house is that the holes are pre-drilled, and probably to make it easier to put together, they drilled the holes out, in my opinion, just a little bit too big. So the screws go in really easy, but not all of them tighten down. We had a couple of the screws that just wanted to turn when you tighten them up in there, and didn't seem to be an issue. We've had the owl house hanging up out on a tree now for probably about 3 months, and everything seems to be holding together well, and it seems to be doing good. Eastern screech owl males start looking for nesting sites in December. Screech owls are cavity nesters. So they'll use old woodpecker holes or burrows or just natural cavities in trees or owl houses that you put out for them. Screech owls have adapted very well to the urban environment that most people live in. The only thing that's missing is nesting sites, because we usually cut down the trees that are rotten or have holes in them. That leaves the birds with very few places to raise their young. Here I am last summer calling some screech owls from our front yard.
But I'm calling in the neighborhood screech owls. I got a little bit of screech owl sounds going here. Oh, there's two of them now. One's out in front of me and the other one's over to the right. I'm trying to get them to come across the road. Oh. Oh, now we got three. We got three screech owls out here right now. Two across the road and one back in our woods. See if we can get any to come in close.
We went back and forth like that for about half an hour, but unfortunately it was too dark to get any of the birds on video. This house was really easy to put together. One thing that I was going to do that I forgot to was put a little bit of caulk over the top of these screw holes in the roof, because eventually that's going to be a point of weakness, because I think a little bit of water will set in those holes and rot the wood out over time. So maybe when the weather warms up a little bit, I'm going to go out and just put a little bit of caulk over the top of these holes. This should make a really good home for a pair of screech owls. Screech owls are monogamous. They usually stay together for life as long as one of them doesn't die. And screech owls can also eat up to 1,000 rodents per year. So if you get a pair of them living on your property, that's 2,000 rodents, which is a lot of rodents to eat. Some farms, especially vineyards, are starting to use owls and raptors for pest control instead of putting out poison, which is always a good thing. You know, putting poison into the environment and especially into the food supply is not good for anybody. Owls will be more than happy to do the work for you. All you really need to do is create a good environment for them to live in, and they'll move in all on their own. Squirrels can sometimes be a problem in your owl houses. They like to take up the spaces that the owls use, and even if owls are already living in there, sometimes squirrels can get in there and destroy the owl nest and even eat the eggs or the babies and cause a lot of damage to the owls. You can use some kind of predator deterrent rings or something if you're mounting your owl house on a pole, but ours are on a tree, so we can't really do that. Also, crows sometimes and other predatory birds try and come in and attack the owls. So for this house, you want to not put the dowel on the front of the house. That way the crows can't stand on the dowel and reach in there and try and attack the owls. The only real modifications I made to it was I took my circular saw and made some kerf cuts here on the inside. That way the little owls have a place to grab a hold of and climb up and get to the exit of the owl house when they get big enough. It has a hinge door on the front of it, which makes it really easy to clean out, and a little metal tab that keeps it locked shut. Here I used 4-inch deck screws to mount it to the tree instead of the screws that were provided. Let's go get this thing mounted to the tree. So this tree overlooks our pasture and our side yard. It also has a little stream that flows behind it with a pool of water that builds up in the springtime. So it'll be an ideal place for the screech owls. Doesn't get a lot of human traffic out there. It comes with a little bag of wood chips, but we didn't think it was quite enough, so we decided to add some wood chips of our own into the bottom of the nest box. I think this is going to be a great home for our little owls. Last year we also built this owl house, and although it was too late for them to move into last year, we have hopes that they're going to move into it this year. Now I guess we'll just see which one they move into. If you want to watch the whole video of the other owl house build, you can find it here.